Hey everyone, my name is Dodge Feeler. This is my channel, Way of Life. I brought in my good friend Bobby D just to talk a little more. We're going to talk about hair loss, and just we're kind of talking about some different modalities, some different tools that we can use. Hair loss is not something that's easy to battle. It's a lifelong progressive issue. There are many different ways to it. The one that we typically are talking about the most is going to be androgenic alopecia. So we're going to kind of just jump into a few. Bobby, Minoxidil or Rogaine, that's probably one of the most well-known meds that there is. Initially, it was started off using as a blood pressure medication. Not amazing at treating blood pressure, but actually ends up being very helpful for helping with hair. What is your experience with it?
Yeah, so, a couple years ago, you got me on a prescription of Minoxidil, topical actually, and I tried it one night and kind of just, messed up my head, had like a red mark.
Yeah, the topical.
And I was like, oh, no more, I'm just not gonna do it. I'll stick to bread and butter finasteride. And also, I've heard about the heart issues possibly, and that kind of scared me. So that was it for me.
No, it makes sense. Minoxidil, I actually find that it's much more effective orally. For whatever reason, when they made Rogaine, that's when they switched it over to topical. It could potentially be some of the side effects because it can lower blood pressure some. It can actually cause like a pleural effusion where it's actually getting fluid in the lungs. That's very, very rare. Don't see that often at all. But yeah, I would say the biggest issue is if you're using a topical and you're using kind of the over-the-counter stuff, it can be very irritating to the scalp. I work with a lot of compounding pharmacies, so I have some amazing places here in Austin where we've made it where there's really not those big issues with some of these cheaper products. But once again, it's highly effective. It really works by increasing blood flow to the scalp, and then it just really holds the hair follicle into the anagen phase of the hair cycle, which is the growth phase. So when we're using that, it's very helpful. It's not going to take away the hormonal issues like with DHT, but for women especially, whenever they have some issues, whether it's after being pregnant, even sometimes when it's like an autoimmune issue, we can see some pretty good improvement. I would say the biggest complaint usually is that it can increase body hair. And then additionally, because it's pushing that hair in the growth phase of the hair cycle, some of those hairs that are getting ready to fall out, which is the telogen phase, they go ahead and fall out, and then they can look on their pillow and be like, I'm losing tons of hair, and I'm always just like, just relax, let's take some photos. And typically within about 4 to 6 months, they start seeing that recover. So, I think another one that we can just kind of touch on is that I'm asked about a lot is rosemary oil. I think a lot of people like it because it's natural. Have you tried that at all?
I have not. No, I heard about it though.
Yeah, essentially it looks like it's pretty much the same mechanism of action of Minoxidil. I don't think it's quite as effective, but it is a natural way. It is somewhat proven to be helpful, and obviously that's going to be used topically. And the third thing, I know you have taken this, is biotin. It's a B vitamin. It helps with metabolism of skin and hair. It's used a lot, but the truth is, if you look at the studies, unless you're biotin deficient, you're not going to get much response. It's another thing where it's a water-soluble vitamin, so if you don't need it, you're going to pee it out. It's typically going to be pretty benign in terms of side effects. So, but a lot of these things are really cool. That you can use topical. Biotin usually can be more oral. But anyway, you got anything you want to mention out of any of that?
So you always recommend, I guess, the oral if you were to take it, just beware of the overgrowth hair.
Oral is just more effective, but it's going to be individualized. Each person, some people are terrified to take a pill. I get it. I don't blame them. I'm not a huge fan of taking all the meds. If I'm going to take a med, it's going to in some way improve my longevity of life or performance or something that's not going to hurt me. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. This is the Way of Life. If you like what you've seen, please click that like and subscribe, and we'll be back for more content soon.